Why commercial property? In this video, I'm going to tell you some of the things that why you should be considering a commercial property investment. If you have never invested into commercial property, or perhaps you have invested quite a few in residential properties, or you do not know about commercial property, then this video is going to help you to understand the mindset and more importantly how you can get a better cash flow through commercial property. So if you want to know, then stick around. Alright, so why commercial? The first reason that you buy commercial property is the cash flow. Apple to apple comparison, residential property versus commercial property, similar price range. Commercial property will always give you better cash flow, better money for bucks than residential property. The whole reason people buy residential property is that they get growth, not the income. It is extremely difficult to get income, particularly if the interest rate remains around 5-6%. It's extremely difficult to get or to earn money through residential property investment. Even the way you bought this property 4-5 years ago, it will be extremely difficult. Remember, residential property rent is gross rent, which basically means that all the expenses will be paid by the landlord, whereas the commercial property can have a net rent, means all the expenses will be provided or will be paid by the tenant. And this is the significant difference that you need to understand, that commercial property is a better cash flow, residential property is better growth. Remember, growth is something, even though you get, the only way you can use it is that if you sell that property. But then there is a problem, because if you sell, then you need to pay tax, and nobody wants to pay so much tax. Particularly, let's say if you bought a property at 300,000, now it has gone to 600-700,000, and now you think like, oh, the property value has gone double, and you're quite happy. Not so, because if you, the only way you can tap into that, of course you can refinance and all, but that is still taking the debt. But if you sell, then 1/4 of that money needs to go to the government, right? And you, for that, because you do not want to pay the tax, so you want to keep it. And but if you hold this in, holding cost every single year, and the cash flow is not enough, the expenses is more, and in residential property you always struggle. The sooner you will realize that, the sooner you'll be able to conclude that yes, I need to think alternatively, that how I can get a better cash flow. And if you have actually one of those people who bought at least 1 or 2 residential properties and have been holding this for the last 3-4-5 years, you would agree with me that yes, you have got some growth, but you are not getting income. You are not getting income, and in the future, think about what is your future for the next 5 years. Will you get income? Not so. Little bit here and there, but not much. What's the alternative? Is the commercial property investing. And if somebody says that, oh, you cannot invest into commercial property, you have maxed out your borrowings, those are nonsense, those are not right. You can buy commercial. No matter what's your circumstances, whether you have an investment property or whether you do not have investment property, you can buy a commercial property even today. It is period. I mean, I would say you an absolute conviction. If you don't know how to do this, by all means, go to our website. We are the commercial buyer agents, and we teach people and also show them how they can buy the commercial property. Some of my clients, they actually think that they cannot invest, they cannot buy, they don't have the borrowing capacity. And then when we show them, when we do these things, go with the numbers, and so, through our commercial brokers, they actually get that loans for them, and all of a sudden they can buy. And these loans could be in the top big 4 banks. It's just like a different channel. It's just like you need to talk to those people who actually understand about commercial property, because remember, it is an income attached to it. So it's not only about your personal income, it's about the property's income also get attached. That's how you can get more borrowing capacity, plus the capacity of our commercial brokers. Our brokers are always experienced. They have been doing this in and day out, and they will take you through in a different journey. It's like if you've never been to a roller coaster and the first time you actually been there, yes, you will be nervous, but at the same time you feel good. You like that, wow, that adrenaline is flowing through, it's making you happy. So cash flow is the king, commercial property is the way to go, and you can buy a commercial property. The second thing about commercial property you need to understand is the tenant. In residential property, you always talk about, is the property. You want to see that property is vacant. In fact, if the property is tenanted, you do not like it because the emotion does not come in. You want to see that empty property, well decorated, well staged property, and you love it. and you want to buy it. And remember, you are always paying the premium to have your emotion kicked in with residential property. With commercial property, it's exactly opposite. There is not much emotion because you are not going to live in that property. It will going to be tenanted. Tenant is going to do the business. That's the fundamental difference. Because tenant is going to do the business or are doing the business, that means it depends on the business principles. Is my tenant making money? If they are making money, they will pay you rent. And as long as they're making money, as long as their business is going further, that means they're going to pay rent and you are going to have a good positive cash flow commercial property. So tenant is an important factor. Anytime you're buying a commercial property, look who is your tenant, who is going to be your tenant in the future if this tenant moves out, and how you are going to keep this property tenanted forever. And there are some tricks, there are some techniques that you can use, and more importantly, to assess and to talk to those people who have been investing into commercial property, who knows, who understand about commercial property. If you talk to a person who has never invested, they will always discourage you. So do not talk to about commercial investment to somebody who has never invested into commercial. Think about it. If you want to be fit, would you go to a gym instructor who has never been to a gym? Like, what is the chance of that guy is going to motivate you? Is like, no, if you want to eat healthy food, find out those who does eat healthy food. They will motivate you more. If you want to have a gym instructor, somebody who has been there, who has done that, and they will be able to help you better. Similarly, if you want to buy a commercial property, talk to those people who have been buying commercial property, and go ahead, go to our website www.mlina.com.au, mlina.com.au, and then book a free consultation. It's free, you do not have to pay anything. Just understand, talk to, you go through your circumstances and find out that, okay, what can you do, to buy your commercial, because it is just go through this, and after that you conclude. You don't have to do it. If you say that, oh no, I don't want to, after talking to you, after understanding, no, I would ask questions. Because most importantly, that if you talk to people, be in that zone, and then slowly you realize that what is the options, and then you decide whether you're going to go ahead or not. But I'm here to tell you that if you look for a commercial property investing, and if you put your minds and thoughts into that zone, talk to the people who have been, you will become way ahead than 99% of investors who would never invest into commercial property. My name is Somen Mondal, and I invested into commercial property. I buy regularly for my clients and actually show them that what is possible through commercial property investing. If you want to, then just go ahead and book your free consulting session. And last but not the least, is commercial property is not about what you can do it today. Yes, you get the cash flow, but sometimes if you hold it for long, like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you would not realize how much capital growth you have got. It sometimes that capital growth can be way more than the residential capital growth. And this has happened. Like, just let me give you an example. Let's say if you bought a commercial shed, like industrial shed in Brisbane, which is, let's say, 10 years ago, just for argument's sake, 10 years ago, 300 square meter with mezzanine block, you could have got it probably, let's say, $600,000. You could have bought it 10 years ago, 2015, you could have bought it for 600,000. Fast forward today, that $600,000 property now, on an estimate with all things being equals, about 1.7, 1.8 million. Yes, it is. It had become 3 times. From 600,000 it becomes 1.8 millions in just 10 years time. And that is possible because if you hold, and imagine if that property you hold it for another 10 years, like 20 years, 30 years, because you are getting cash flow. So there is no point of selling it. And why would you sell that property? As long as you are holding it for a long period of time, you can pass it on to the next generation. You will not have to sell. And some of my commercial properties that I bought, I would never sell. Because I don't have to. I'm getting cash flow. Why would I sell? And that is an important part as well. Residential property is very difficult to hold it for long time, because at one point of time the rent is so less and the property price gone up, and with all the insurance and all the expenses, the council rates, everything, land tax, is just very difficult to hold it for long period of time. Yes, you could be adamant and would say that yes, I'm going to hold it, but it's not making money. whereas you can push that money into commercial and get a way better cash. I hope you find these videos helpful. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.